सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु. May there be peace for all. May there be happiness for all. May there be wholeness and completeness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. If you have been doing it regularly, your mind will reveal the wisdom. What is that wisdom? You will realize when Buddha says the world is suffering, that world lives within me in the mind. When the Buddha says samsara, he uses the word samsara. We travel outside, but we wander inside. By regular practice, the time comes we instantly recognize that samsara, the world I'm living, is inside. You travel outside, you travel to your home, to your workplace, to your honey, to your son and daughter, to earn money, to go to the grass. We travel. No issue. We wander inside. That is the reason, even during the meditation practice, we have millions of thoughts passes. Never forget, if you have been doing the Mangalacharan every day in the morning, you will recognize. We are going little deeper every time. Now, we have selected and committed seekers. So, what I said, you have to understand that Mangalacharan helps you to travel inside also, not wander inside. I think I made it very clear to you. Now you can open your eyes, but how it happens? That is why we have started a discussion that how you lived your life until today from the last session. So not only the Mangalacharan is the first, listening and learning every day, and then followed by the contemplation and reflection, practice and experience, daily analysis, and applying the wisdom. You have daily analyzed your life, whether you are traveling inside also. I believe you have understood. We travel outside. We have joined the session at the same time. It's a travel. But we continue to wander inside. Are you getting it? That wandering is known as samsara. That samsara is known as the suffering. Buddha says it is not the world outside. But when people are in the beginners, we say, yes, the world outside is suffering. So that is how, we are going deeper. So applying the daily analysis, applying the wisdom, then you evaluate change in your behavior and attitude. And that is expressed in the thought, speech, and action. And one day you will find no blame, no complaint, no issue at all from the world outside. It is happening inside my head. Then what happens? Then what happens? we not only become a seeker, but now this mind doesn't leave the practice. Every day, all the time, you live into that state. That state is your personal effort. We will start sharing because today is the day of the long practice. So I will just put up some of the ideas that is important. So first thing that you have understood that samsara is the world is inside. That world is suffering. It is not the world outside. Logically, we can travel. I can travel to you, you can travel to me. It's a traveling. Travel to your grocery store or to your son and to your daughter and to celebrate a marriage ceremony, event, everything. But how the outer event impacts me and mind is not able to take over that. That world is suffering. So if you have been doing regularly, first thing you will find out the mind. Now you have started traveling inside also, not wandering. How? You wake up in the morning, you say, okay, sarvesham sustir bhavatu. You are absorbed into that. Instead of wandering, you have put the mind on the traveling. Now something bigger happens. I have already told it is your grace and the blessing starts. How to understand? You have to check everything whether the grace and the blessing is taking place. It doesn't mean that you don't have the uh, wrong situation so called or the incident outside, but your world inside is not at all suffering. It accepts. So I will just throw some idea, some understanding of this grace and the gratitude comes by the Mangalacharan. So I told you that you are doing regularly Mangalacharan, listening and learning, contemplation, reflection, practice. Throughout the day, you are applying the wisdom and you analyze every day in the evening before going to sleep and you rehearse how you have to think, speak, and act in that situation. You are doing it. That is your effort because I can make you understand this blessing and the grace by a metaphor only. You have to contemplate this metaphor every day, and then we will have our discussion. What happened? You are running inside a moving train, right? You mistake your effort for the journey. The train is a grace powered by the existence, and the Guru, teacher, carries us forward. Recognizing this shatters the illusion of personal doership, and that is where the real journey of the grace and the blessing begins. Let us explain this metaphor. You have made your effort until you boarded on a train or a plane. You got your seat number, you are sitting. Do you say that now I will fly the plane? Now the plane will fly at the 35,000 feet. You have made your effort. Same thing in the train. You have made your effort. And now you say, I will reach to the destination. That is why I am running inside the train. Are you getting it? What? When you continue to keep your doership in the ego, you are blocking your grace and the gratitude from the existence. We are entering into something little mystical, and but I can explain it logically. I am sitting here. All effort is made. What? To log in at the right time, to wait for you guys when you come. But there is a grace by the existence. It is still there. That is why I have symbolically made you clear that I see you all are manifestation of my master, who gives me an opportunity to speak to you so that my master checks if I am speaking rightly or wrongly in the journey of East and West. So when you live into that awareness, the grace is always there. Blessing is always there. Did you get it? I will explain again and again. We are going little deeper. You have to see that. You have to explore that. You have to live into that. When you say, may there be happiness for all, and you enter into the grace. I am sitting into the train now. I have need not to make any effort. Whatever the effort that I have made, I have already made. No. I will continue to run in the train to reach to the destination. I will continue to run in the plane to reach to my destination. I know you have a smile on the face. What a crazy stuff. That is the crazy stuff. We do it every day because of our doership, because of our delusion. Existence. That is the point I want to make today. That is one of the greatest value of samadhana, the sixth treasure. Solution. I made my effort. Done. Finished. Let it happen. We had a good intention. Let me sleep. The next day morning, I don't wake up. Finished. It is the existence that carries forward my journey of life. So, grace is always there. Blessing is always there. Always there. Can I recognize it? When I recognize it, doership and the ego is not there. And when the ego and the doership is not there, you can awaken yourself. I'm entering into a little deeper area. So let us start how you lived your life until today from the last session, Dennis.
Yes, I remember. A few days ago, my honey woke me up in the middle of the night, and she was like, "Are you sleeping?" And I'm like, "Obviously." Uh, and she says, "Okay, I read something. I just read something interesting, and I want to share with you." And I was, maybe it can wait till morning. And she is like, "Yeah, it can wait, but I will tell you now anyways." And she starts telling the story. So my mind starts getting irritated. And the next moment I recognize it, and I'm telling myself, okay, it is important for her to share her story with me right now. So why am I irritated? And I understand that my irritation comes from the expectation that she should respect my desire to continue sleeping. But I also understand that she doesn't have to respect any of my desires. So that convinces the mind, the irritation goes away, and I'm ready to listen to her with peace inside.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is what we need to analyze and reflect our daily life. Out of curiosity, I'm asking Dennis, it is the same honey?
Yes, yes, it is the
Oh,
same honey.
okay, okay. You need not to know. I need to know. Need to confirm. Okay. I know her very well. So. Very good. You see that. Now compare it. Traveling outside is very easy. Oh, Mahani, listen to this story. Sansara is inside, getting irritated. That is, I started wandering. Why I started wandering? Because of my expectation. So that is why our masters are very clear. Stop, blame, complain, reaction, duality. Don't convert event into an incident in your life. And I will say 50% of your life will be full of peace and happiness. From there, this real spirituality begins. Usually, it does not begin that you raise your hand and you show some magic. It has nothing to do with the magic. Let us start with our David and Jerry.
Thank you. Nothing specific, just an odd general observation of, I'm doing the Mangalacharn morning, noon, and night.
Good.
Cherie was going into the grocery store yesterday. I sat in the parking lot in the car with the dogs, and rather than jump on my phone, I just, did the mantra for the 10 minutes or whatever it was that she was in the store. And just so I'm feeling this overall, and I, do it in the morning, I do it at night before I fall asleep. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I do the chant, and I just feel this overall calmness and peace and just kind of letting things sort of flow in my life. So that's been really, really helpful. My sleeps have been extremely deep in the last, 30 days or 20 days or whatever. The one thing it is interesting on your train metaphor too. The thing that came up to me is if you dig into it, if you're on that train and you start running backwards because you see an object outside you're attached to, the effort that goes into that attachment because you have to run backwards in the train so you can stay with it is just crazy versus just sitting and letting it go. So those are my two observations.
Yes. Train is now I'm inside the train. Now I'm under the grace and the blessing of the existence. That is the metaphor. But instead of being aware of that metaphor, my mind starts running backward or it is running forward. So it means I have not done the practice regularly. Yes, that is a good pointer. Beautifully said. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I like the metaphor as well, and feel that is where the effort stops. Is when we truly embody our essence, then we have all the blessings and grace, and we see all the events as blessings and grace. So highs, lows, we just see them all the same, and I appreciate Dennis's sharing because it's kind of interesting when somebody wakes you up in the middle of the night, and I think that we've all experienced something like that. So it takes a moment to just kind of open yourself to, okay, I'll be awake for a moment.
Yeah. We should be open, and even there is nothing as far as the privacy is concerned. And I appreciate Dennis opening up. These small things, but they are very big things in our life. I get irritated, so that irritation becomes my habit, my thought, my speech, my action. So then there is a delusion. When there is a delusion, there is no grace. And then we say, okay, my big ego says, where is the grace in the blessing? That is the biggest problem in the journey of awakening and actualization. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen? Then we'll go to yes.
Thank you, sir. I'm good. Things are really, really good. I continue to self-reflect in every situation, whether it's with anyone else or just myself. And like I said last week, I was really focused in on the reaction and response. And this week, I've been really thinking about the element of time. And I think I brought that up before, is that we're so caught up in what's next and kind of like chasing the train rather than sitting on the train. And when you talked about the metaphor, I started thinking as the train is, the time is running away, and I'm so busy running after the time and being stressed out about doing one thing and then being interrupted, and I can't get that one thing done because something else is coming at me. And like I said, well, I just sit on this train and just take it easy. And I've noticed that when I don't put the emphasis on finishing whatever's going on and just take it as it comes, everything just goes away. It's so much easier. And I've found in the last 2 weeks, especially more recently, that my conversations with other people all come from, for myself, come from a place of peace and happiness. And that's when I'm asked for advice, the advice comes from peace and happiness. It's the elements of the Eastern wisdom that is coming out in not a way that, I'm not, I've noticed, we've talked about this before, that when you say to somebody, oh, well, the Eastern wisdom says this, some people just turn it off at that point. But if I bring it in my own language, from that place of peace and happiness, it's received completely differently. And I'm watching people around me change without them knowing they're changing. So thank you.
Beautifully said. Yes, we should express. We should express these principles and concepts of Eastern wisdom whenever it is required. But check, there is no world inside. I am traveling from inside, from the point of peace and happiness to the world outside. And in that state, you will find the grace is working. Another part is also very important, that we are busy. On Mondays, normally I have a busy day. So one session after other session. So I kept half an hour interval intentionally, so that I can consciously focus on what I have to guide, what principle I have to talk, what happened in the previous session, especially in the individual and private session. So the time is not a problem. That is what we need to do. And if we think that, if we are multitasking and if we can do the things and we can earn more, I can bet no. Even if you can earn more, you will suffer more. You will suffer more. Yes, Amir.
Sir, one thing I want to say that in the daytime, whenever I am alone and sitting, I get detached from my mind. I see my mind as a movie is going on, and see my thoughts. Means I feel different from my mind. Means before I used to, I am mind. Now I feel that I am, and endurance also increases a lot. Before, sir, if when I used to sleep with someone and a person used to snore, then I used to get lot irritated, and I used to change the room or go to another room. But now what I started before 6 months, if somebody was snoring, I started doing shantom, shantom, shantom. Now I can sleep with anyone. Anybody snores, nothing. I'm not irritated. So this thought came to my mind when I heard of Dennis, that at the midnight she woke up. So it came, now I can sleep with anyone. Before, if anyone used to snore, I used to change the room or I used to keep awake. But now it is not like that. I am peaceful.
Beautiful, beautiful. I hope that your honey should not listen to the today's session, because you made a statement, I can sleep with anyone. No, that is just a joke.
No, I am talking about my family members.
Yes,
my
I
son, daughter,
understood.
anyone.
I understood. I understood it. We all understood it. That is the beauty, that is the beauty. Now, I perhaps, my brief talk in the beginning is working well. I travel outside, I wander inside. Buddha says that is samsara. I have to get rid of that samsara. No blame, no complaint, no issue at all. Why? Why? Because the mind has dropped the delusion inside. And that is going to help you a lot towards. We have now to work simultaneously with the grace and the blessing of the existence. It is always there. Because of my ego and delusion, I don't recognize it. So now I recognize, here is a delusion, here is the ego, here is the doership. Like the train, I sit in the train. Now there is no doership. I have to wait. I boarded on a flight. The plane is flying. I have to wait. But in that wait, can I recognize the grace? And that happens all the time. All the time. Yes, Christina.
Thank you. I experienced how much I'm attached to the way I want my walk to go. And I was walking with my partner, and she's the one that has complaints about how people drive. And a truck actually came very close to us, could have almost hit us. And I'm still in my whatever happens, happens mode, and and her hands go up, and I remained quiet, and then she started to share her opinions and judgments, and then I started to feel irritated, and I had a reaction, and and started saying something like, well, they're not going to see you doing this, maybe you should have just tapped on the car gently to say, hey, we're here, and then that's not going to help. So I sort of moved into what was happening for her, and then anyway, we talked through it, and I realized she had shared she has some fear, that comes up in those moments. And I was able to validate that and acknowledge that, and try to let go of me trying to control wanting this peaceful walk with none of this going on.
Yes, you see the grace. I should be right, full driving should be there on the road, according to the norms, society, rules, speed, etc. Now I am in the hand of the existence. Even if I have drawn 1 mile, it is because of the grace and the blessing of the existence. So in every moment, can we recognize that grace, that blessing, and that of the existence? If you recognize it, the inner world is going to change. Ego prevents us to change that world. And then comes the irritation and reaction. And then we recognize, we acknowledge, and why don't you acknowledge and validate in the very beginning? So that will be a change. That will be a big change. So let us start our practice. Close your eyes. Today is the day. Beautiful, I appreciate you all. Beautiful discussion we had. And that helps us to evolve. The stage 1, waking up. So stage 1, I can say you wake up your discerning intellect. Place, position, and posture. You see, there is a sense of no, you are not doing anything. You're just becoming aware. You're applying the knowledge, the place, position, and posture. Yes, you align your body, you, and to be present is the goal. The presence starts with somatic awareness. I'm using Christina phrases. Somatic awareness, place, position, and posture. We strengthen that awareness, moving the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Means moving the mind on the skin of the body and experiencing sensation, comfort, and steadiness. If it, not, if it doesn't happen, you move it again and stop it. You move the mind again and you stop it and you see the grace and the blessing. I did not create sensation. I did not create comfort or steadiness. It is already there, inbuilt. What's the problem? I'm not able to recognize. Why? Because of the delusion and ego. Okay. So I have to do my things and then I have to leave it. Answer is yes. Where is your experience? Then you have a sensation, comfort, and steadiness. That is what our masters are talking about. Now you see the mind has changed its direction. So you don't mess up with any thought, feeling, emotions, and your experiences. Right? That brings us to the third step, being carefree, seer in the scene. All my experiences belongs to the mind. I am not my mind. Hence I am a seer. I am a knower. I am an observer. I'm a knower, observer, seer. Pay attention. Knower, observer, feeler is in the mode of knowing, not doing. That is the real state where we consciously recognize internal calmness. What is that? Do you remember? Sama. External calmness. Nothing irritates you outside. Dhamma. Uparama. Titiksha, endurance, and somebody referred to endurance and resilience. You see, you recognize. You recognize they are there means that is why they are the six treasures. Always present. So in the stage one, we may have some glimpse of, once you have a glimpse of these six treasures, or few treasures out of the six, you have reset the mind for going deeper. What? Yes. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam bhavatu. I believe you have understood. So when you do the practice again, in the first three steps, you have reset the mind. Okay, now let me do it. May there be peace for all. May there be happiness for all. So it is moving from the me-centric to all-centric. All centric means what? The entire train carries hundreds of passengers. Existence, blessing, grace. Do you see that? May there be wholeness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. But to prevent, not to fall back, we have the next step is the 6 neighbors. Now it appears the world outside, that is how people understand, but I have given you a clear understanding. We travel outside. It is very clear to us. We wander inside, and that is the samsara, with reference to the 6 neighbors. Even if we look outside, look at the first neighbor. First neighbor out from outside is our home, our job, profession, our honey. We feel that honey is very close to us. But honey is separate from us. My hand, my organs are closer to me than my honey. You see the delusion part? Oh, you just recognize the word. That word lives in the mind. It appears outside. How? You have to reflect on that. Second neighbor is the body. Body, the fear of the birth and the death, and also the home of pleasure and pain. If I don't have the body, home of pleasure and pain. So pleasure and pain are getting associated with the fear of the death and health and the disease. We become, oh, this is the second neighbor. I am not there. Third neighbor is the energy, hunger and the thirst. On one sense, on the other hand, it is your excitement or a tremendous energy regulated. We will talk about that. So, okay, the third is also the neighbor. I is manifest in the form of a breath, manifest in the form of physiological, biochemical, neurological functioning. And the fourth neighbor is the psychological functioning, the mind. Just stay there. Somebody said that, when I am sitting alone. Now, when you're sitting alone, you start traveling inside. You are not wandering inside. That is the beauty of this journey. You are very much clear. And the fifth neighbor is the mind, our, pain and the pleasure, all the duality, heat and the cold, insert and the praise, they live, the irritation, reaction and response. But then we go to the fifth neighbor, it is invisible, it is subtle. So when you have a strong likes and dislikes, it is your fifth neighbor. Do I know myself? No, I have yet to know. That is ignorance. That is our sixth neighbor. That is causal body. We normally say not casual body, causal body. Now, once you have done all the 6 steps of the stage 1, take your mind to the breath. Just check the flow of the breath. In that flow of the breath, experience place, position and posture, experience sensation, comfort and steadiness. So you are confirming, is the body centered? Yes. Am I in the present? Yes. Place, position and posture. Am I carefree? Do I see the seer and seen as distinct? Yes. Have I tuned the mind by Mangalacharan? Yes. Do I keep in my mind the clear knowledge that I'm beyond the sixth neighbor? Yes. Do I remember they are not me? Still the impurities remain and ignorance remain. And in that flow of the breath, we have recognized. And in that flow of the breath, now focus your mind deep inside your forehead and then start breathing long, deep, and the hissing breath into your rib cage. Focus inside. You are maintaining sensation, comfort, steadiness. Mind is traveling inside. In that travel inside, you have a resilience. You have an endurance. You can do it even for a longer period. So it is not that we are building the muscle so that we can do it. Eastern wisdom works totally from above to below, from top to the bottom, not from the body upward. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your entire rib cage. Long, deep and hissing breath, and you continue to remain attentive of any point inside the forehead. So when you remain attentive inside the forehead, that covers being comfortable and being carefree. Whatever your experiences of the breathing are, they belong to the six neighbors. It doesn't belong to you, so why you worry? So the mind worries. That is what you have explained to me about your reaction and irritation. So we have the irritation and reaction during the breathing also, and then you have to, but at the same time you have the fourth treasure, the titiksha, the resilience, endurance, equanimity we discussed. So you remember, you follow, continue, and you will see a tremendous change in your level of awareness. Nobody can notice it from outside, but from inside, your mind has started traveling. And now stop it, return to the flow of the breath. Do you still remember the flow of the breath, equal or unequal? You just notice. The very noticing of the flow of the breath means you recognize the breath is happening now. Happening means coming from the existence, ready to receive the blessing and the grace. But in that blessing and grace to work, you are very clear about you are being an observer. Then only you can recognize that grace and the blessing. But in that state, we will move focus deep inside the belly button and start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. So you will recognize when you practice with that understanding and the knowledge regularly. One day I can promise you that you will sit. It will not be in 1 hour of meditation, you'll be able to sit for 2 hours on your own. I want you to all reach to that state and without any reaction issues. Why? I can give you one simple reason, but one simple reason is not enough. That you have started traveling inside, not wandering inside. You have transcended the delusion and you can continue to sit for hours together. Please continue breathing long, deep in the acing breath into your belly. Do you see when you practice with understanding, with knowledge, clarity, do you start traveling inside easily? Otherwise, we have lot of challenges. And now leave this, return to the flow of the breath, no chains, become aware of the flow of the breath. Is it equal or not? Both are okay. In that state of the awareness of the flow of the breath, your mind can recap. Place, position, posture, sensation, comfort, steadiness, relaxation, stillness, observed. Yes, I'm into the mood of that Mangala Charan. It will take hardly a few seconds. And in that state, you start breathing deep, silent, slow. Yes. The moment you start inhaling, your mind moves from the top center of the head down to the tailbone, singing mentally Om Shanti. And while exhaling, the mind moves from the tailbone to the top center of the head, singing again Om Shanti. You are singing with emotion, with feeling, as if you have left all the expectations from the world outside. Only one expectation. What is that? I am the peace. Om Shanti. We have already started the stage 3 with this Nyasa. Do you see that? So you can contemplate more and more, reflect on it, how the entire practice of meditation has been designed. It is yours. So you become the teacher to yourself. and it contains about 21 steps, which you don't feel as if you are moving there. You already know you are doing the longer one mentally because the breath is deep, silent, and slow during inhalation and exhalation, and the mind is moving in the spine. And now return to the flow of the breath. We are transitioning into the stage 3, a dynamic state and a static state of Om Shanti. You are looking at the breath, flow of the breath. With every flow of the breath, you start dropping Om Shanti on the breath without any chains, no chains in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Every time the breath goes in, Om Shanti, breath comes out, Om Shanti. You see, every step is a very smooth transition. So what is the masses of the masters of the Eastern wisdom? If there is a smooth transition, means you know clearly what you are doing. It is a conscious journey. So there is no chance of any hallucination and imagination. That is what we need to do to awaken ourselves. How can you awaken yourself with the hallucination and imagination? So at present, it's a dynamic state of the breath where we are dropping Om Shanti. Now start dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. Now the points are static, and there you are dropping Om Shanti. So it is all about that you are making your mind capable consciously to undertake the journey to find and awaken to real self. That is the message of all our masters. Gradually, you will also understand how the mind responds, or our mind reflects the two different higher states. when we do Om static with the Om Shanti with the static 16 segments or with the dynamic flow of the breath. The experiences are different, and that indicates that where we are how we are progressing. The same, and the fourth of the Om Shanti. Now move the mind deep inside your heart. Visualize the triangle and dropping Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, moving the mind clockwise and anti-clockwise. Here, moving the mind clockwise, anti-clockwise. You see, that is now the last step in the third stage, so that we can transition into the fourth stage of the meditation. So when you recognize there is a thing, push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, singing mentally. Mind seems to stop and you drop Shanti. What you have done? You have boarded the flight. You have boarded the train. Why I'm saying this today? That we entered into the stage 4. We will understand without the grace and the blessing, awakening cannot take place. So I'm just reflecting on it, helping you to understand clearly. So in the beginning I said you are totally absorbed, the self-absorption. You remain as an observer of all your experiences. And in the stage 4, you're not doing anything, you are waiting. In that waiting period, there are many images, visions, and experiences, or emptiness, or clarity. Gradually, it will settle. You will understand what it means clearly by grace. Without grace, awakening never takes. I said, grace by my master. My master is the knowledge, epitome of the knowledge. So even leaving his body is still with me. So we have to now gradually settle into that state. So what happens? Everything is happening by the grace of the existence. You all met me because of the existence, because of the grace and the blessings of my master. You are undertaking a path because of the grace of the existence. It should not be intellectual, it should be settled deeper inside me. And we move into the 5th stage when you do on your own. So you can also mentally or loudly, you can sing with me. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. you take your time, and we should not be in a hurry. Second time we are doing Om Shanti, so take a deep breath. Again, take the deep breath inside before you are saying Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You will see that the mind supports you. Again, take a one deep breath. One deep breath. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms and stay there for a while. Deep inside, you look inside. By looking into the space and the darkness, you're basically looking at yourself. Can I use the American phrase? Return with a bang, a stronger discerning intellect than what you started. Bring the hands down. Yes, Christina.
Thank you. I experienced just an absence of the entire world outside and just the sense of the inner world, the realness of that.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. Again, remember, our expression is that we have left the external world. The world is inside. That is causing the suffering. Beautiful. How are you, Samir?
Sir, meditation confirms the address of happiness every time.
What a beautiful statement. Yes, that is why we practice meditation. Otherwise, intellectually, we know that peace is my nature, happiness is my nature. We know it. That is why one master says practice of meditation leads to the conviction, recognition, and realization that I am of the nature of peace and happiness. Nothing to say further. Beautifully said. Yes. David and Jerry.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just like stages of jumping, down. And a couple of times I had thoughts come up, and I just remember saying to myself, I'm not interested. I'm on my journey. Leave me alone. And the thoughts just diminished away, and it was very, very, very peaceful. Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Yes. That's another way to express that you are going deeper and deeper and deeper. One great master used to say that you start as if you start falling into the well, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So that is also a good, beautiful expression. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. I like Samir's expression that meditation confirms the address or
Yes.
where we are. Yeah, I felt very relaxed and rooted in the knowledge. Thank you.
Beautiful, yes. It confirms that happiness is me. It is the address. Beautifully said, Stephen.
Thank you, sir. My meditation, I started off with a little chuckle because my mind was only interested in contemplating the existence, the blessing, and the grace. And the other part of me just wanted to go into meditation. And that was taking over more so. And my mind was like, no, I want to contemplate. And I was like, there'll be time for that later. And the meditation just started, as David explained, just these stages of dropping deeper and deeper into the meditation. And then every time you said existence and grace and blessing, my mind was like, now? And I was like, no, not now. And then it just kept going deeper. So there were moments in which I was chuckling and everything was just within myself. So thank you.
Beautifully said. Yes, beautifully. Yes. Every time we find out it is the grace. Single word I uttered, single movement, it is because of the existence. How can you say, okay, remove the space, remove the air, remove the earth? How can you exist? Let your ego exist. So that brings the tremendous change in our life. Dennis, yes.
Deep meditation, and at the end it was like all thoughts, experiences, and concerns just lost their importance. I was just enjoying the presence. Thank you.
Beautiful, yes. Yes, it is the same thing as enjoying their presence. It is the same expression. The meditation confirms the address of happiness. Do you see align the both? So all of our masters have given variety of expressions, and ultimate that is what we are discovering. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Yeah. Namaste.